All right, welcome to the Beet Goes On podcast, and we have Frederika back on. Frederika is owner of Java Burrito, which we had her on before, and I feel like it's been a year since I started the podcast. You were one of my first 10.
Yeah, I was like, it must be a year and a half.
Yeah, I wish I would have had you on sooner, but I mean, this has been a learning experience for me, so I feel like I'm better. Still winging it. Still no interview questions. I'm still just winging it. But I feel like the people that I have on the podcast are people that I want to have conversations with. So it just kind of flows.
Oh, I love listening to your podcast.
Yeah, it's just like a flowy conversation.
It's also fun because you have people that are relevant in the community and that are making moves and being their best selves and doing the best they can do all the time.
Yes.
And as a working person, you just don't have time to socialize. So you can listen to your podcast.
That's a good way to put it. And to get to know somebody you didn't know. It's also what I found, and I'm glad that you said that. What I found is that some people are like, oh, I saw her. I introduced myself because I heard her on your podcast. I went into her restaurant and said that. That makes people feel good. Like just this little platform to like say something and to like, I don't know. That's what I want it to be. It's just kind of like a release or a conversation, but also like what you want people in the community to know about you as a person. So you're not, outside of the business, which, you're a mom.
Yes.
And remind everybody, how many restaurants do you have?
We have 2.
Yeah.
So one downtown Savannah and one on Hilton Head Island.
Yes. So she's running 2 restaurants with her hubs.
Yes.
All while raising. And how old is the little one now?
She is 4.5 now.
Gosh.
Growing fast. Starting
she's fun to watch on social media. Yeah. Do you find that that's easier now that she's in real school?
Well, she'll start real school next year.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
It's going to be a big
Are you
change.
excited about that?
Yeah, I think we're all ready for it.
Yeah.
Like
and do you think she is like the social side of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like she's a social.
She just
social
needs
queen.
More. She comes home from nursery school right now
and
is like, okay, what do we do now? And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm
running 2 businesses. Let me muster up the energy for that. And how is Java Burrito? I mean, this is my favorite restaurant as a business owner. The many hats that I wear. This is my favorite DoorDash order.
Thank you. Well,
because it's consistent, it's delicious.
Thank you.
And you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's fresh and it's delicious. And
that's great.
But
so
you can get a coffee.
Moving into the new year, we will exclusively be on Uber Eats. So I'm glad you brought that up. So if you freak out and you don't see us on the DoorDash app, that's because we've chosen.
Yeah, I do both.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people
I play with my coupons and my points and my things. And my son and I are on the same one. So like,
oh, fun.
We go back and forth.
Well, that's a huge compliment because there's a lot of competition in that space, the delivery space.
Well, it's fast. You're one of the fastest. I'll tell you that.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it shows up and the coffee's like still hot. The ice is not melted.
Oh,
it's fast. It's great. And it's consistent, the same, and it's healthy. That's what I was really getting at. Like when you're going on that app, there's not a lot of healthy.
No,
even the things that are marked healthy, are not healthy. Right.
And we cook with 100% olive oil. We're probably, I don't want to say one of the few, but just what I know about the food industry, it's not a popular
you can just feel good ordering from Java Burrito. And I'm not even trying to be a commercial here. I'm telling you, I do it. I would love to come in here and see your beautiful face more, but I am a business owner and I am guilty of probably at least 2 times a week ordering. I get the fish and potatoes.
Oh, nice.
I feel like that's a healthy, good breakfast.
Healthy.
And and I kind of switch it up on the coffee. I usually get the lavender though.
Yeah, the honey lavender.
Yeah,
good.
that's my go-to. So I appreciate what you guys are giving to the community as far as healthy food and just the service, even if you're getting it to go.
We didn't even know that much about delivery because Hilton Head is not a delivery town place.
Yeah.
It's an older demographic. They don't use the apps.
Right.
They don't.
So you had to like learn it here.
Yeah, so we've had to learn it here. And we struggled a lot with letting go of control to the driver and to the person handling the food. That was a big thing for mostly my husband because
because you're rated.
He really prides himself on the freshness and, all of that. And
that's awesome.
Once the person walks out the door with that food,
it's in their hands literally.
But I do think Uber Eats
is the better.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I've had great experiences with both, and I've had bad, and I just kind of like understand that it's what comes with it, because
it is. It's a risk. I mean, it's a
risk on both sides, for the person ordering it and the person. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. There's a lot of drivers, and you never, if they're having a bad day, your food might feel it. You might see it.
I mean, there's good ones and bad ones, and I think the good ones are taking up more and more space. Because the good ones are realizing if they're good.
Right. And I hope that, and I don't know the details behind all that we could go down a rabbit hole with that, but I don't know all the details behind it, but I hope that they're being incentivized well. I know my son did it a little in college, but he didn't. He went right back to serving. But he needs that interaction with people, so that was his personal choice. But how is it doing otherwise? It's delicious. It's you're where she is on the street in Savannah, there's enough residential here, so you kind of have a mix.
We're in a residential pocket for sure, but we're still on Broad Street. So
so it's touristy, but it's a little off the beaten path. But I think that's going to change. I mean, Eastern Wharf is growing rapidly. There's a lot of stuff coming through.
Yeah. So I'm actually part of something called the East Broughton Beautification Committee, which is a push of local businesses and property owners, both residential and commercial, and residents to get the Broughton Streetscape project finished. Like, let's get the continuity of Broughton Street going from MLK all the way to East Broad. To have it so chopped up, I don't think really
it doesn't
serves
benefit
anyone.
No.
And the city as a whole, if you look at the city planning and the way that it was laid out, 100, 150, whatever, 200 years ago.
Right.
It's a grid system.
Mm-hmm. Very much like New York. I think I don't know this to be a fact, but the same guy that made the grid for New York made it for Savannah. I don't know that that's a fact.
It's on my list,
but I've heard it.
Go down the history of because I believe it's French city planners, which is really unique for the United States. I doubt there's that many cities that were laid out. It is very European. Planners.
You know who knows it? Next time he's in town is my friend Michael.
Oh, I would love.
He's born and raised in New York. He has properties in Charleston and in Savannah. He's one of our real estate clients.
I would love to.
And he knows stuff like that. Like
I need to know it all.
Yeah. And he's got this New York accent. So it's like fun to listen to him tell a story. So I will introduce you to Michael for sure. He's funny.
Yeah. So if anyone is interested in helping us push that along, reach out to me on social media.
You know who, ironically, so last week, Morgan Ray Boutique. So she dealt a lot with that end of it, which is literally the opposite end of Broughton Street. And Broughton Street is, the main shopping street. It's where...
Well, it's the main commercial street.
Right.
Really, if you go way back, it's like
it's where there's a mix of tourists, but there's also a good mix of shopping with the local. So
and really cute apartments too.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. It's come a long way. Like 10 years ago, you'd be like... When I started doing real estate, it was just starting to turn around. Yeah. But they were like, the buildings were falling apart. Yeah. Someone came in and cleaned it up, which unfortunately raised the rent for everyone. So,
but he
brought 18 properties up to code. I mean, he beautified them. Some of them were condemned. So that's not good for business either.
No.
But what I found is that the tourists, the Savannahans, do not the big brands or the big names.
I hear. So I'm really in the middle on almost everything. Right. I see the pros. I see the cons. I see the pros of doing a streetscape project. I also see the shit that comes with it. Right. Which we can all acknowledge. We all saw it.
Yes.
I've talked to
we talked about that on the last episode with Morgan.
Yes. I've talked to Morgan about it a little too. Because I
great.
really wanted to know how she felt. And she told me.
And she got really involved. And I think the best thing that you can do is instead of sitting back and, excuse my French, bitching about it, you're getting involved. You're doing the right thing, meeting the right people. You're doing it in the right way. Because nothing happens when... when we're all just gossiping about things we want to change. You have to get your
So we're trying
hands dirty.
Yeah. I mean, we're really trying to say, I hear you, Broughton Streetscape Phase 1 got messy. They learned a lot. Mistakes were made. It was kind of a perfect storm too with what was going on in the world. I mean,
very true.
We cannot forget about that.
It took 9 months, I think Morgan said, for her end. And then as they moved down, they got faster and quicker. Yes. She knows. You listen to the episode that was today because it's on my list talks about how many. She was even interactive with knowing how many contractors were hired. Like there were tons that were like let go or quit during that funky time. But but you can see how much faster everything went as they went in the phases. So and I think you're right about it being a weird time.
The East Broughton Beautification Committee is really just focused on saying we all own, we all live somewhere, right? And we maintain our properties, we maintain our homes, we maintain our appliances. You can't leave this street just looking the way it is.
Halfway. They did like half. Like what's going on?
The crosswalks aren't painted. No. The sidewalks are cracking. There's drainage issues. There's sewage issues. There's infrastructure.
And Eastern Wharf is so new. So for it to flow, you wanted this side of the street to match. You wouldn't get dressed up half your body and then the rest of it be still wearing pajamas, which is it's a good representation.
And we see the people that are now staying at the beautiful Thompson, and they're walking into Savannah and they're walking through here.
Exactly.
And it's just not a good representation of how amazing Savannah truly is.
No, and I'm sure, it takes persistence, but I'm sure you'll.
We are going to try to just say,
so you're in the beginning phases of it?
We've been working on it for about a year. And we really just
Is there pushback, or are they just?
I think that, don't quote me on it, but I have heard from several different people that they kind of just wish they would have kept going, because now it's been a year plus, right?
Yeah.
So
I think they're also getting pushback from the businesses because after coming out of COVID, everyone was like freaking out, but it's always going to be something. Now COVID was terrible, but it's always going to be something. So it's just like,
there's always something. It's really a conversation about the future and moving forward and how we want Savannah to be, and that from many different angles, from tourism, from quality of life for residents, when it comes to traffic and safety. I mean, we have to tighten up.
There's like so many.
We have to tighten up these roads so people stop drag racing through Broughton Street.
Right.
So, I mean.
Dude, have you seen them do it? They do it on Liberty Street too. There was someone hit on Bull Street, there's no light at Bull, and it's one of the busiest intersections on Liberty.
Yeah, because there's no light there.
Well, there's Sixpence and there's Public, and then people are coming from it. It's the prettiest street because of the squares, but Liberty Street is one of the main, it's what goes to the interstate. So there needs to be in my opinion, a light. Well, so many people have been hit right there, but you're right.
I mean, for me, Savannah needs to focus on being a pedestrian and bike friendly haven. Because if you look at case studies from Europe, the major cities that are pedestrian havens and bicycle cities, also the highest property values, also the highest tourism numbers.
Right.
Also, incredible quality of life for residents. Yeah. So we needed
Bay Street's another one. Oh. Bay Street is so high touristy. They allow semis to come through there. Don't even get me started.
I know. So anyway, lots to do.
The subject on
lots to do with that stuff.
We could go totally down a rabbit hole.
But if you have any comments, please reach out to me.
Yeah,
reach out. I mean, hear.
And I love how, just to touch on that, I love how involved you're getting as a new Savannian. That's great. And
so Java Burrito.
Old Savannians are really appreciative to.
Well, I mean, I hear old Savannians. They don't want tons of change. They recognize that I'm very new, and I am very new. Our business goes into its third year this spring, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's so fast.
So fun. Fly. Savannah's been so welcoming. The food and hospitality industry has been so great.
Have you made friends with other restaurant owners?
Yeah, it's really a nice community. And we're all so supportive of each other.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think that's really special.
That's changed a lot too. Morgan and I were talking about that on the last, even within the retail world, same. Like it used to be different, and now, and I say it all the time. I think it should be my new tagline for the podcast. We have the best women in the city.
I was just going to say, if you look at all of the almost every really cool business in Savannah, there's a woman behind it somewhere.
We have a really strong
it's amazing.
Female community here, and it's that's why I love this platform. And that's, you know, and you and I have talked about one thing that I promised myself for 2024 is, and I say, even though I don't like text you every time, but I'm like, Java Burrito, we can meet at Java Burrito. Yeah. So I've got this set group of women that we all really support each other on a regular basis. We meet at least weekly.
Oh, wow.
So, and there's only 4 of us, but either we're FaceTiming, we're calling,
that's awesome.
Or we're meeting face to face. It's got to start somewhere, but we've talked about, and then having a monthly or quarterly place. And I always bring up Java Burrito because she's got this amazing place downstairs.
We do have an awesome private event space. The bar is being renovated right now. It's going to be really beautiful. But I would love to get a women in business group together.
Have a speaker once a quarter.
And just meet and support each other and see each other in the flesh.
And I'm very lucky. Like, I've had some badass women on this podcast that I am lucky enough to have as, you know, friends, mentors. And so one thing I learned was through the last year, I was even bothering Missy about it. I was like, I just need to go outside of Savannah. I just feel stuck. You know, Beet Tan's growing nationally. And I was like, I feel stuck. And then I really was quickly humbled. Like at some point I was like, what am I doing? Like, these are my support system. This is my support system. These are the next. Lori Harder said it, which is one of my favorite podcasters. She said it recently. She said, you know, her and her husband did this. They were like reaching and trying to get in these circles. And I was like trying to get in I wouldn't say I was trying to get in a podcast, but I was trying to like use this platform to get out there, to get interviewed on like bigger podcasts.
Yes. Yeah.
But I know that the community of women I have here are the next superstars on whatever level that is. Like, I could see you guys having 100 Java Burritos in the future.
Boy.
I know. I think I'm a big thinker.
Oh, no, Michael would love to sit here and talk to you about that.
But I'm saying you guys have a system. It's great. You've done 2
We have
in
done
a short
2.
period of time. So like, what, you know, is there talk of 3? But what my point is, like, we have people doing really cool things that are starting in the city that's growing. The port's bigger. There's a lot of really,
there's so much
jets
movement.
made in Pooler. Like, we have at Gulfstream, like we have we're on the coast. It's a very cool city with a lot of creative energy. So I was like, I'm going right back to my roots. And I'm going right back to the women that inspire me, because every conversation I learned something. And then that's where the female group comes into play, because there are some people who just do not want to get on a podcast and be interviewed. So I'd like want to get them interacting with each other on a different level. So that's my 2024. Last year I was pole dancing and fundraising. So this year,
you were killing it.
This year I want to really pull that in, because it's really important. And then another part of me, which we've talked about this outside of the last interview numerous times. I think a passion of mine is to help someone starting, which is what I do with Beet Tan, someone starting a business. But I think this year I'm going to focus on learning and growing with the women who are entrepreneurs, like thriving from that, so that I can be in a better position with a stronger foundation, with a team and a community to be able to help those coming up.
Well, what you've built with Beet Tan is amazing.
And it's still so much to learn, like,
and you're helping all these women, work for themselves and still be able to have a family, and
I need the community of women like you to say things like that,
because you need to hear it sometimes.
And I know, like, you need it too, as a mom, like running.
Everyone does.
Yeah, everyone a mom and a wife, like all the perspectives matter, and they really encourage, and all the motivational words. It really is a real thing. It's like a cup of coffee. It's my energy. And I think sometimes when you're like helping, which is what I do, and I love it, I need someone I need some of their energy and what they're doing for their business. Does that make any sense? Like, if someone's starting, they're on the start level, it takes a lot of energy. And to be a mentor, I guess what I'm saying is,
there's so much learning involved with starting a business, involved with working for yourself. There's nobody to replace you ever in the beginning, right?
Right.
There's so much dedication. There's a lot of sacrifice that nobody's going to see.
Yeah.
And then one day you pop out the other end and they're like, wow, look at this. And you're thinking, yeah, this took a lot.
Yeah, it took a lot. And that's where social media can be such a fib, because
it's
we
such
only
a
put
highlight
the good
reel.
things. And that's why this podcast is so important to me and a community of women, because people who think I'm killing it, like there's a whole side of like anxiety I have to meditate, I have to breathe through, there's a whole side of it that's really hard. Like Missy and I spent 2 or 3 hours yesterday making content.
Yeah.
And I posted exactly with guidance about TikTok, because I'm trying to sell the retail products on TikTok and go DTC. I have to do 5 a day.
I don't have the bandwidth for it.
I'm making myself do it because it's a free platform to sell direct to consumer. So I
Totally
chose
get
it. So
it.
I have to follow through. And I'm making myself like it. Like every time I started to scream at the editing button that wouldn't do what my finger was telling it to do, I was like, I really like this. I'm learning. I had to like change my brain and my thought process.
We're both huge Gabby Bernstein fans.
Yes, totally.
So Gabby, if you're listening,
I'm reading her. Yeah, I love her. I'm doing her 40-day.
The manifesting challenge.
The miracle. I've had the book forever. It's like Making Miracles, or I should know the name of the book. I'm freaking reading it.
Books.
I have all her books, but this one, for whatever reason, I didn't pick it up. And then I was having like a funky week.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And it came out of nowhere. Like everything's fine.
That's what happened.
Everything's going. And then everyone and everything gave me anxiety or pissed me off. It was just one of those weeks. And I was like, ugh, let me pick this book up. And immediately. And I ordered the Course in Miracles, like the old course, the Esther, and the Abraham Hicks thing of her that she's done.
Yeah.
And it's forwarded by Wayne Dyer, who was her mentor.
So I have her coaching.
I picked it up. I picked that up.
I have her coaching app, which is amazing.
Yeah, I like her coaching.
I really love it.
Sometimes I just need to breathe and read a book. And I was so happy that I picked it up. It was short and sweet. It's like a page in the morning, a page in the evening.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I'm telling you, and then I picked up one of the Course in Miracle books, and immediately felt like an old reminder. Like sometimes you think you're okay, and then you like stop those practices, and then you're not. And there was actually nothing in particular that happened. It was just a week of anxiety, and I know moms get this a lot. When you have a business, a child, and yourself to take care of, like,
and your marriage, and your house,
have something,
and the cars need something.
You have to have like a chill.
Everything needs something.
Yeah. So you do her coaching.
Dog.
I love her coaching.
I did. Yeah, I started the coaching app in the fall, and I just needed some quick guidance. Just I don't have time to sit down and read a book. I wish I had time to sit down and read a book right now.
Yes.
One day I'll get there again.
Yes. It's really hard when you have a 4-year-old.
The coaching app is great. It's a few minutes a day that you just listen to her voice. And
it just it's like essentially what I do with the book. I think the book
and then there's
slows
a prompt.
My brain down.
Like it'll say go to exercise. And then
cool.
it's and you can just quickly on your phone jot down an answer to the question.
That's new.
It is new, but it's wonderful. So
I do it. I just haven't. I've just been doing the book, but I need to do that. But I'm doing the 40-day thing, and it's simple and easy and short, just like that. Except it's in a book. So,
but as entrepreneurs, as moms, as business owners, as blah blah, all the things we are, as women, things will always come up, right?
Like creepy little little anxious bugs. It's so annoying. But it's human. It's normal.
And you do grow through them, and you do come out the end.
And then I'm able. We had someone within the Beet community who was struggling. Her family wasn't as. She didn't have a supportive community home for her new business.
That's hard. And
so we're in the meetup, which is essentially a Zoom through our training site, and I could just see it on her sweet little face, and I'm so happy that I have these tools and these self-soothing tools that I can say, this is what I do, and I can send a podcast or send a book, and she feels supported in a whole different way, not just in business. And there are times I didn't read a lot when I was working multiple jobs, and my community of women here, I have a group, the same 4 that I meet, that it's always like a recharge. Like, thank God I have them. So I love that. And I want to introduce you to them, but I think we could grow and do what we've always talked about doing.
Yes.
Like
I mean, I think there's
meeting.
room for something really big and impactful.
Whatever happened with the city? Did you ever talk to the city? So there, what was in the name of it? I just hit my face on the mic. what was the, it's like the
there
old
was an
school,
existing one. Oh, the Chatham Commerce Club.
And it's still a thing, but they're worried that it won't be a thing because
I haven't been to one in so long. I don't even think I should speak about what they're doing because I just don't know.
We should follow. But really, it doesn't even have to be involved with the city. I think just getting women entrepreneurs together to support each other and then let it organically
I think it
grow
will
into what it's supposed to grow into.
I think it can organically take off because I think we all benefit and feel the immediate benefit from being connected to each other.
People who I see you, like, you'll tag them or you'll be at an event with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, she met whoever.
Yeah.
And she's interacting with them. And that's
I know, but
cool.
we don't actually get to know each other or hang out, right? We all see each other at the same stuff. We want to get to know each other. And that's why your podcast is so great because I feel like I can hang out with the people that I don't have time to get to know.
I really appreciate you saying that. I really appreciate you saying that because sometimes I feel like I'm just like that's what I want to get out of it. That's exactly what I want it to be. Yeah. So I really appreciate you saying that because I didn't realize.
You're doing it.
I didn't realize it was working because, you just go through the motions. To me, like this is just a conversation I want to have anyway. Yeah. And having this platform makes me have those conversations. And I don't care if 5 people or 5,000 people listen to it. Otherwise, I may have not taken the time in the morning to come here and I get something out of it. When we did the Morgan Ray, I know I keep doing because it's just funny that y'all are both on Broad Street. We both, it was like the same day that we communicated with both of you, and it's just funny how things happen. No, it's great. I was like ready. I was like, okay, I want to go back to the roots. Coming to the new year, we might have some other stuff worked out. We have a meeting tomorrow, so I've got some stuff in the works to get women in the community together and back on here. Yeah. Missy was like, we were eating, I won't say where, we were eating somewhere, and she's like, you should be on the podcast. And I was like, I was about to tell you, I only want to do females again. Oh. And it was a man. So like, this guy is going to be like hitting me up and be like, sorry, you don't have a vagina.
Not invited.
No, but that's just the direction I go because I am a woman's woman and I need to be, I need to be true to myself and what I want to get out of this. And this is what I love. Like this morning, I was, it's cold.
It's really cold.
73 degrees 2 days ago.
Okay, but that's what's so confusing. It's like 45, 45, 73. So you never even can get into the winter thing because then summer pops up.
A faux fur coat on the episode today because like my body just cannot adapt at all. Well, I always love talking to you. I think and I wanted to say this too. I love the merch. I love the trucker hats. I'm going to get one.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm actually in the middle of working on a whole new collection. We did
You're good at that. I think you should.
Oh, thanks. Well, we did a collaboration with an artist out of California. Oh, that cool. Is so cool. She's so cool. Check her out. J Ruby Designs.
I'll check her out.
She did some really awesome art for us.
And you're going to put it with the merch or like put it on the merch?
Yeah, it's going to be, t-shirts, hats. I mean, my big thing is I have to have all this stuff ready for spring break, which for me is March 1st. That's always my deadline. So I have a month and a half to get all this stuff together. But we're going to have some really cool stuff coming out. We did a collaboration with Ping Pong Surf Club, super cool company last year. We did the Java Burrito collection.
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
Yeah. And that was really fun. We had a great time.
I love that you do that. Like what a creative way to make food and bev
fun.
Way more fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps with content too, because all the content you created, if that was hard to say, all the content you created was so cute. It made me want a hat.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I love a good trucker hat though.
It's really, I'll get you one, but it's so fun to see it downtown. Like if I'm driving, someone sees
isn't that cool?
Someone has the hat on and I'm like, oh my God, someone actually is wearing it. Right. But it kind of goes along with, 10 years ago, that's when we started this company. Michael and I really wanted to create something that was special that at the time didn't exist in Hilton Head, a community space.
Yeah, you guys definitely brought
a space for everyone to be able to come and eat.
To Hilton Head.
And Hilton Head has amazing restaurants. A lot of them are fine dining.
It's clean, it's pretty. I love Hilton Head.
Yeah. Me too. It's a very
Savannah's
special place.
a whole different.
They're two different.
I mean,
which is amazing.
They're like 30 minutes from each other.
So my husband still commutes back and forth twice a week, which means that we still have, you know, an ownership presence there. We do have longstanding employees that are the general managers, the assistant managers, kitchen managers, prep managers. And without those people, it wouldn't be possible.
Gotcha.
So we really
So you have a really good team that can run the show.
We have an amazing team. Some people have been with us almost.
See, that's why you're going to have 100 restaurants.
10 years.
You said Michael would really like that I'm saying that.
Michael would love to talk to you about that. You'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
I don't know. You guys.
I'm over here trying to spend summers in Italy and stuff, okay?
You can still do that.
The hardest thing is it's two different worlds, like we were talking about. It's two entirely different demographics, which has been amazing to see the same concept, the same core values work in two places,
totally different cities,
two different demographics. I mean, the actual
and to see you guys succeed and do it together as a couple.
But the footprints of the spaces are totally different. You know, Hilton Head is not a huge walking, biking, you know, there's not tons of pedestrian traffic. So there's a big parking lot. You have to drive there. Here, it's so much like walk up, grab food.
But leave. I love how you pivoted and you guys didn't make it like the same cookie cutter concept. Because I think, and if you kind of fell into and conformed a little to Savannah, but kept your haunts, like you said.
And if you do want to go down the road of talking about 100 Java Burritos, then it is really powerful to be able to say we have two restaurants, two different demographics.
Absolutely.
Two different footprints.
Super impressive. You have to be proud of yourself.
No, I'm super proud of us.
Yes.
I really am.
And to do it as a couple. Do you ever want to kill each other?
You know what?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't work with someone else. So, like, you know, you hear.
Well, I don't think, and talking about the 100 Java Burritos, I don't think I could have a business partner. Like, I would really struggle with that because like a financial business partner, okay? Because Michael is my business partner. Yeah. We both are good at different things. And because we respect each other and I go to him for things that I'm not that good at, and he comes to me for things that he's not even thinking about or whatever.
I mean, that's impressive. Take the whole business being successful out of it. That's impressive to be able to work together.
Actually, that's a piece of our relationship
in
that's
one way,
never
this is like
been
a whole
hard.
different baby.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is. I mean, we have 70 employees. That's a lot.
I mean, that's impressive alone. I mean, maybe we should just have you guys on here as like marital advice. You know who else is?
I mean, Jane
and Matt, you know, they have.
There's a few, you know.
There's a few like couple.
Beck and Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, you know, if you look, there's usually a spouse behind the scenes somewhere.
I just like how the women are
unless it's you because you're.
Well, that's why I have the questions, but I want to hear how you guys are making it work as a couple because there are some power couples in this town that are doing really cool things and running businesses together. And it's essentially, you know, it's a family business. It's
but one person in the relationship has to be able to shut down and say, and now the workday is over.
Yes. Oh, yes.
In our relationship,
you'll just keep working
it's me. Otherwise,
you're like, we're done
Michael will send me emails at 8 o'clock.
And what do you guys do for like the chill time? Like, what do you do to reel it in and get back to chill time? Do you have a glass of wine? Do y'all take a walk? Like, what do you do as a couple to stay a couple and not just? But you know, you have to.
No, it's hard because it's a huge piece of our relationship, our life, our passion. Right. It's really hard to separate the two sometimes, especially in the busy season, because all you're thinking about is making it go round and
the juggle.
You never want to be, well, the worst thing you can be, I guess, is like not as good as you once were. So every time you have a successful season, you know, you have to back that season up again. Right. So, I think for us, our goal is to really be able to travel more because I think we're realizing we can't truly step away without physically being quite far away.
I mean, well, you guys are very much like me because you live upstairs. So, I mean, I live upstairs for my business. So that's one thing we have in common. And you do have to get the hell away.
I mean, there's days when I'm just like, this has run its course. I need some space. You know, everyone can knock on my front door, and I'm just not available right now.
No, that's a good
hard.
point. So travel is you guys' way to regroup and have that family.
Michael
and
went on
separate.
a trip. Michael had not traveled to Europe in maybe 6 years or something. I'm from Sweden. I'm European. I have dual citizenship.
Right.
I one day hope to buy the rights to beet tan for all of Scandinavia.
Hell,
I really believe in it.
Girl, let's put that out there.
I really believe it. No, I really believe in it. So
I so appreciate
I just need to find some people to help me out because I'm not there all the time.
We'll just manifest it.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's out there in my brain because I do, you know, it's dark so much there. And I think
those are the states
Swedes
in the
love
U.S.
to be tan.
Right.
My mom
and
passed
they look
away
so
from
beautiful
melanoma.
Tan with their beautiful blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah.
No, it is needed. And the states in the U.S. that I thrive in are the Washington states, the states that are gloomy and sorry, I love them. All my people there, they tend to be like cold and rainy more. And
you feel good with the tan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not anything crazy. It's just like a little bit of color and that they don't have access to because they're on the southeast, you know, the coast. So I love bringing that joy to people. It's my favorite part of the business.
Oh, I think if, you know, I don't have any time really, but I think I would love spray tanning people.
Oh my gosh.
I think it would be so much fun.
It's instant. You just make people feel better. And my favorite answer is when I'm like, so what event do you have? What are you getting sprayed for? And I swear to you, at least 5 people a week will be like, nah, I just felt crappy or I just wanted to feel better.
Oh yeah. I've almost called you several times in the last month.
I got to get you some of the new serum. It's like a face recharge. It's vitamin C serum, but it has the beet tanner in there. It's brand spanking new.
That sounds amazing.
And I made my guy, whatever, put it on last night so I could smell it on his face because it smells so good.
Does it smell good? Because that's always the conversation when I talk to people in Sweden about spray tanning. There is not the best reputation. No. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is different. It's
made in small batches. It's as fresh as we can get it, which is first key. But and this I take pride in the smell. Because DHA has a scent, but the beet DHA is the mildest of them all.
But what I was going to say was Michael took a trip to Scotland this fall.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about.
And it was
back to Michael.
Man, it was not easy to get him out the door because he hasn't left. It was like, all right, Michael, we need to get to the airport. Yep.
He was trying to handle so many.
I mean, I don't know. There was just like an energy blockage of like, I know I'm going to Scotland. It's going to be great. He was going with his dad to play golf, which is, you know, amazing. But it was like just getting him there was a little tough.
So once he got
to the airport, he hands our 4-year-old the boarding pass. She loses the boarding pass. I'm like, are you not wanting to go? You know, like what's going on here? So we have to go get a new boarding pass. Then he hasn't flown in so long. You have boarding passes on your phone now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need a boarding pass.
Right.
Anyway, he went to Scotland. He unplugged, which is really hard for him to do.
Yeah.
When there's a 6-hour time difference or 5 hours, I think that is. And that many miles between you and the business.
Yeah.
I think you take a deeper breath.
Yeah.
And he came back
better,
so recharged.
See, you have to step away.
And I think we've just realized that in order to have a balance, because owning a business does require so much brain power, physical power, everything, we have to figure out how to take a really deep breath, you know?
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is working. I mean, I was I told somebody this week, I was like, I'm interviewing Frederika and I don't know if she like smokes a lot of weed or something, but her energy is so calming when I'm around her.
I actually have never smoked pot.
Really? You don't need it. You're like, you are weed.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah, because the last time I interviewed you, I was like, because I am so high strung, but I think that's important. Like, it makes me want to be around you more. Because, you know, when you have, it just makes me calm the F down. And we're having this, you know, nice conversation we have these conversations outside of the podcast with each other, that's what you're doing is working is what I'm saying. And I'm just going to regroup on everything that we talked about, but Java Burrito is awesome. I think the most impressive thing is that you and your husband are doing it together, that you know when to take a break. That is a really powerful.
Well, no, we don't know. We know what we need to do.
But you're the one that's like, but you're the one that that notices it, and
Yes.
he needs that. So you're a great yin and yang for owning a business together.
We are.
And it shows. The energy within the business shows the creativity.
Well, we have to shout out Taylor Ayers did this mural. Yeah. I mean, I love supporting
there's
local
this beautiful,
artists.
If you're listening on Spotify or, whatever, but you can go check it out on YouTube, and I'll show, there'll be clips on the Beet Goes On podcast page. But yes, it's really cool. I love
collaborating
that you do that
with artists.
Yes. Collab. And you are great at that. And you guys have really just made a name here for yourselves. And it's super impressive. I not only like to eat the food, I like the energy, I like the environment, and I love you.
Well, I love you, and I love a good tan.
Yes. We make the city better.
Yeah,
we tan them.
We're trying. We're trying.
Yes.
There we go.
Well, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast.
Thank you.
I'll have all of her contacts, which she's been on before, for Java Burrito in the show notes.
Yeah.
But it's Java Burrito.
JavaBurrito.com or Java Burrito Company on Instagram.
Got it.
And then Frederika Official is me.
And she's fun to watch.
Well, and if you do
her.
have any input for the East Broughton Beautification Committee, please
we'll make a note of that
me.
For sure.
We are so open to opinions, thoughts. I mean, we really are just trying to move forward for the future of Savannah.
Yeah. And it really does take a community to do it. So all input is very welcome. You can reach out to either one of us, and I'll put anyone in touch. So thank you so much. And let's get this week started. It's Monday.
Let's do it.
That was